Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glen Sutherland.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. This week I wanted to talk about some things that I've learned. I don't want to do like a list where I'm just be like, this is how you do this and this is how you do that and this is how you do this. If you want that, come see me live. Whenever I'm doing a live show, I literally just, it's all like nuts and bolts of how to do stuff going into the States. So the first one is I have a list of about 10 that we're going to do. So the first one I have on my list is help someone. This sounds so hokey, but literally, especially if you are new and you don't know what to do in the business and you're still learning how to do it all, go help somebody. It's karma. It'll work out in your favor. And that's how this whole podcast started. I didn't have an actual agenda or a way to make money with it, and I just started doing shows, and I figured if I kept putting stuff out, eventually it would come back to me, and it would work in a nice circle. It's karma. Just, if you're not sure what to do, go help somebody. It's a great way to learn the business, too. If you want to go and help somebody who's doing flips, if you want to become a flipper, go help someone who's working in the industry, and they'll help you because they'll feel obligated. I've had people who have came and helped me in my business, and I'm like, okay, well, what can I do for you? I'll do whatever I can do to help you as well, because it goes both ways, and I think it's human nature that once we've got something for free from somebody, you feel like you should give something back, and it's not an obligation, but it just works that way. Another thing I've found is you will find your best opportunities when you're already in motion. It's a physics thing, so how does it go in physics? Things already in motion will stay in motion. One thing leads to another. It's kind of how everything builds, and it doesn't really make sense on paper to say, but once you start actually doing stuff, more deals will show up. More things will happen. Practice writing deals, and you'll get really good at writing deals. We just came back from Kansas City. We were looking at buying a pile of properties, and we only had this pile of properties. But by being in Kansas City and trying for these properties, by the time we left, we'd almost doubled our list of properties. And it wouldn't happen if we weren't trying. And it's the same thing too, is I'm looking for certain types of deals and I don't have them, but as soon as I start searching and I'm actually actively putting a deal on, the word spreads, people will let other people know, and things will just move faster. So it's the law of motion. Just keep doing stuff and stuff will pick up faster and things will go better. Number 3, prioritize your time. The best way to say that would be when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So sometimes thinking about what you're saying yes to and what the way you're using your time, you realize you're misprioritizing things. This isn't actually on my list, but it makes me think about when I'm doing things that aren't really worth much money at all, or doing things that I could pay someone to do for a much cheaper cost. Like, everyone has the same amount of time in a day, and you can be using your time to work on your business. But when you're doing that, even you're taking a sacrifice away from your family or whatever else in your life. So think about those things while you're doing this. Number 4, not everything will be a success. Even some of my properties in the States. Just remember that certain things are going to be more difficult. The thing is to learn from these things you're doing, pull things out. There's things you could have done to prevent this. Just remember, it's the journey. Enjoy the ups, remember the downs. Everything won't go smooth. There's going to be a lot of learning. There's going to be a lot of things that you never even seen coming up, and just do your best to learn from everything and know it's part of it. So try not to rattle yourself too much. Number 5, constructive criticism is helpful. It's hard to take that sometimes, especially if someone's being specific to your business. I have a person in my life that is really good at ripping down on whatever I'm doing. And first, you push back and you say, you don't know what you're talking about. But there's things you can take from what they're saying and try to use it in your business and understand some of the risks you are taking, and that might be something that they're very concerned about. Get while the getting's good. When there is something going on in your business that is working really well, go as hard as you can on that spot. Because sometimes you'll look back in the past and you'll say, oh, what if only I would have bought more houses in 2016 when right before the big boom in Ontario, I could have done I would have had so much money. Well, that one's kind of a guesstimate, but you might be finding hey, there's all of a sudden there's a whole lot of foreclosures that have showed up in this little city, and as soon as you figure out how to get them, get as many as you can, because it will dry up. The word will spread, and do your best to try and conquer whatever it is you're trying to conquer. When something is going well, just because you always I'll get to it someday, or everything's going, I'm just going to keep going. Maybe it's the time to take on some private money to do things faster. Maybe it's the time to take on some partners. But when the going's good, hit it hard. Number 8, get an accountability buddy, or a life coach, or a coach, or whatever you want to do. Accountability buddies are free. You can easily find them. You can go to our Facebook group and say, hey, who wants to meet up once a month or once every week to do it? I have an accountability buddy I meet with every week. I have an accountability buddy I meet with every month. And it keeps you aligned. It's a good person to bounce ideas off. You help with their business. They'll help with your business. There's not a right way to do it. My first accountability buddy was a wholesaler, so we weren't really directly competing. So we didn't have any feel of competition, because I'm not into wholesaling at all. But I knew a lot about it, so I could bounce ideas off him, and he could bounce ideas off my business, and we wouldn't feel like we were competing. I don't know if that's the right way, because now I have an accountability buddy who is in the same market in the United States, and I don't feel threatened at all. I think it's the part of growing too, that I am not concerned about that kind of thing. But get somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. Get someone that you're going to feel, whenever you have this meeting and you haven't done what you said you're going to do by next week or next month, that whenever I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, I avoid those meetings. They make me... I just don't want to have them. I don't want to say that I didn't do or get done as much as I wanted to get done. So get somebody to make you feel. Get somebody who was going to help you get your goals accomplished. Speak confidently. When you speak confidently, people will listen. I use this as my channel to speak to you guys, but there's lots of ways to do this. Talk what you're doing. It'll help grow your business. Make yourself an authority on something, or at least you know what you're talking about. Number 9, learn how to learn. Don't think that just because you're done college or university that you stop learning. I think that whole process was to teach you how to learn. There's some math and stuff I use from then, but in all honesty, there's not a lot that is useful. I'm constantly learning. Read books, podcasts. In all honesty, if you're listening to this, you're probably a person who does like to learn, so this may not be an issue at all. But learn how to learn, keep learning, keep growing. Okay, before the last tip, I'm going to go to this commercial break. I'm just kidding. Before we go to the last tip, let's go to this commercial break. I'm just kidding. We don't do commercials here. Number 10, striving for perfection is the path to procrastination. The lights are never going to be green all at the same time. It's never going to be the perfect market. It's never going to be the perfect house. It's never going to be the perfect deal. You just have to go, and we're in the business of solving problems. Fix that house up. Fix what needs to be done. What's wrong with the deal? What's wrong with the financing? What's wrong with whatever? But everything is not going to be perfect. There's going to be problems, and in all honesty, that's how you're going to make the most money, is solving problems. That's my list. I hope you guys liked it. I know probably only 5% of you listen to this on YouTube. I know it's not very popular there, but if you have, it's a good platform for writing comments. If you have more things to add to this or comments, put it on YouTube, and I literally will read them all, and I literally will get back to you on each one. If you have any questions at all, Glen at glensutherland.com. I'll talk to you all next week. Thanks. Bye.